Hi everyone, Kate here to do my as of 2022 ranking of Jane Austen's novels. Now, this is my ranking as of now. It will maybe change in a year, so I'm just saying my 2022 ranking of her novels, and I will reevaluate as I continue to reread. This is how I feel this year. Coming in at last place, sadly, is Sense and Sensibility, which breaks my heart that it is my least favorite because the bare bones of the story uh, I really love. And I love watching film adaptations of Sense and Sensibility. I love the contrast of the two sisters' personalities. I love this kind of riches to rags storyline. It's kind of Cinderella-ish. And this going to live in a little cottage by the seaside. It's got all of these elements, and Colonel Brandon is such a wonderful character, but it's just all in the execution where it loses me. It just feels slow and it kind of drags, and something about it just it loses me. It isolates me, and I don't know what it is. So this is the only one that the last time I read it, I didn't enjoy myself that much. I appreciated her writing. And I feel like that's kind of an insult when you say about a book, like, I appreciated this book. So I was very sad the last time I read it. So I think I'm going to give it a good solid, 5 years until I read it again. I really, I would like to love it more, but it may just be that I can enjoy this more as a film adaptation. So maybe I'm just happy to be an Austen fan in the modern age. And then the next one, my fifth favorite, is Persuasion. So Lady Susan is in here, but as of this date that I'm filming this, I have not yet read Lady Susan, so it's not counted in the rankings. Persuasion for me, I do enjoy this one. I think the notion of this second chance romance is really romantic. And I love that Anne Elliot is a more mature leading lady. It just has some missing pieces to me that make me not feel like I'm fighting for Anne and Wentworth to be together as much as I would maybe if I was more invested in the couple. And I think it's that we have this incomplete picture of Anne and Wentworth too. We don't see them before. This book could so use some flashbacks, and I just feel that I don't really know Anne. And this is going to seem like a big leap, but just bear with me. I have the same issue with Persuasion that I do with thrillers, where you're seeing characters in these horrific, life-altering situations, and you don't get to see them out of kind of disaster mode. You don't get to see them out of damage control mode. And you don't get to see Anne outside of that. She's coping with living with a terrible, terrible family. I mean, they are awful, dreadful people to live with. And you don't get to see her outside of that. So I always feel kind of like, Anne, I don't really know you when I'm reading Persuasion. The letter at the end makes me weep. So it's not to say that I dislike Persuasion, but I do feel kind of a longing to have a fuller picture of them. So it is marvelous, it is splendid, but it is lower down in the rankings. Then we get to one that I am very fond of. It's just the other ones above it outrank it. So my, 6, 5, 4, I'm losing track. My fourth favorite is Northanger Abbey. Northanger Abbey, I would say, is in the good old-fashioned fun category. This is a book for book lovers. I know my sister-in-law has not really enjoyed Jane Austen's other novels, but she really enjoyed Northanger Abbey. And I know that my friend Jessica at JJ Admirer of Words and Coffee on Instagram, she hasn't really enjoyed the other ones, but she thoroughly enjoyed Northanger Abbey. So I think there is a real spirit of fun about this. And Jane Austen really does not take herself too seriously with this book. And I love there's just so much poking fun at book lovers and dramatic plots. And the character of Catherine is just so new to the world and so excited to be venturing outside of her little hamlet that she lives in. And I love the social scene in this. Mr. Tilney is a great man. He's part of what really makes this book for me. And he's just charming. His lines jump off the page, and I just find him a really compelling character. So he's one of my favorite bits about this. I also really enjoy the Allens. Yeah, I love the intrigue in this. This is a really fun one. If there were to be a Jane Austen novel to be read around Halloween, Northanger Abbey is it. So yes, thoroughly enjoy this one. And then one that I cannot believe now that this is my third favorite Jane Austen. I never thought I would have said this, and that is Mansfield Park. I finally get what people are talking about. This became a firm favorite when I read it last year. I did a very long, gushy discussion video about this. The first time that I read it, I remembered having a very long, rambly discussion with my husband after it, kind of agonizing over what did I think of it. And at the end of the discussion, I said, I didn't really like it, but I think it's kind of amazing. I remember saying that. And this time, I thought it was amazing, and I really liked it. It's one of those that just slowly, I wasn't ready for it, I guess, the first time that I read it. And Fanny Price, she's not your Emma Woodhouse. She's not your Lizzie Bennet. And she is very different. But I think the quiet Jane Austen readers out there can really relate to her. And I love how passionately she feels about art and books and her moral compass. These are all, not your kind of character traits that are just going to jump out at you when you're thinking about book character. She has a very quiet strength about her. So this is less of a fun one, like Northanger Abbey and the other ones that are in the ranking. They're kind of the fun ones. But this one is so meaningful, and it has really stayed with me. I think the reason it would never be higher up is that Edmund is a terrible character. He's just not appealing. And I don't know anyone that loves Edmund as a character. So yes, really like this. I love Mansfield Park. So I'm scared to reread it though, because I'm like, what if it doesn't live up to my memory of it? But I think now I firmly love it, so it's going to be okay. In a few years, I'm looking forward to rereading Mansfield Park. And then coming in at second place is Emma. Emma has such a fun cast of characters. Mr. Knightley is hands down my favorite Jane Austen male character. And the character of Emma, I really do love that she starts out quite a brat, and you get to see her fall off her high horse and be humbled. And the character of Mr. Woodhouse is funny. Miss Bates. I love Frank Churchill. Frank Churchill is controversial, but I like Frank Churchill because I think he brings a lot of, I feel like, because I reread this last year, and the novel can start to feel a little bit like it's stagnating, and then bam, Frank Churchill comes on the scene, and everything starts to happen, and he spices things up. And so I love that. I love Miss Taylor as a character. Harriet Smith, I feel like she's not that interesting of a character to spend time with. I like her as a companion for Emma, but I don't know how interesting she is. And you know what? Bless their hearts, even the Eltons make for interesting characters in this. So yeah, I just really love the whole cast of characters. I love this one. I feel like you can really clearly feel the time of year that it is. There's the dinner party that is very close to Christmas time. Then there is the Box Hill picnic. The Box Hill picnic. That is really painful at times. That definitely feels very summery. And so for all of those reasons, I adore Emma. And then in first place, here I am being very basic, a very basic Austen fan, but it's Pride and Prejudice. And I think it's just, maybe it's just got the cleanest, here's the direction of this story. Clearly everything is moving it forward. And it's funny because the more I read Pride and Prejudice, the smaller of a story it feels. It's like, oh yeah, all of this happens in such a short amount of time. Like there's so much that happens, but it's just crammed into this amount of pages. And it's not that, yeah, it's less than 400 pages. And I just love this idea about being so certain about how you feel about a person and knowing exactly what they're like, and then just doing a complete 180 about that, and learning so much about yourself from that process. This one makes me laugh a lot. But the character Mr. Bennet, I do not like. He is one of those that I think a lot of people think is funny, and I think he is sarcastic at other people's expense. I think he's insincere a lot of the time, and certain awful things that happen to the Bennet family are on his are his bad. Like, they would not have happened for him. So actually, he kind of makes me angrier each time I read Pride and Prejudice, for the kind of neglect that he has kind of a part in certain things that happen to the family. But I love the closeness of Jane and Lizzie in this story, and just something about it is so splendid. It's just got such a lively feel to it, and so much of examining yourself, kind of checking yourself. So I love Pride and Prejudice, and I hope I never tire of rereading it. Thank you, as always, for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing my rankings, and let me know your favorite Jane Austen book down below. I love chatting in the comments, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye.